Hi friends, we are going to make this adorable reindeer today. So I just used a block of chunk of 2x6 that my husband had in his garage. I think it's about 7 inches tall. I forgot to measure it, but I think that's about what he cut him at. And so I'm just painting the entire thing except the bottom in burnt umber color by Apple Barrel, and this is just regular acrylic paint. And I'm getting the top and part of the sides and front, and then I'll dry that, and then I'll turn it over and get the rest of it. So I'll give it a good complete dry. Just using my heat tool. Now I'm just using some red acrylic paint, and I'm going to paint this round circle that I had on hand. And as you can probably guess, this is going to be Rudolph's nose. I'm just giving it one good layer is all. I'm just using the heat tool that I got on Temu, I believe. Had a little black dot on there from something, I'm not sure what, so I'm just kind of dotting a little bit of red paint on my finger and getting it covered up on there. Have this last little piece of 6-inch burlap ribbon, and so I folded it in half, and I'm sorry I moved off camera there a little bit, but I'm just kind of cutting the shape of an ear out, and I doubled it up, so I'm cutting two at the same time. And this is a burlap that really kind of shreds and falls apart quickly and easily, so at first I wasn't even sure if it was going to stay and hold together, but I ended up gluing it on there really well, and I think it's going to work. In the end, it still looks really, really cute. So I just kind of scrunched up the one end, and I'm gluing them on there, kind of folded up, so they will stick out to the side. I just put a little bit of glue on it, and then I use the tip of my glue gun to just kind of press it and put it down. So there are his ears. Now for his antlers, I got these berry holly picks I got on at Hobby Lobby. And they're 40% off right now, so I think I got each pick for $1.20 if I remember right. So I just picked off, they came in three picks in the pick. And so I tore off 2, and I'm just using my staple gun and putting a couple staples in there to make sure it's on there solid. Then I will also put on some hot glue too to really secure it. I'm just kind of fanning out the antlers. And I'm a lefty at that angle, I couldn't quite get to it, so I had to turn it around to get this other one. Now I'm just putting the extra glue on to secure it. So I'll let that kind of set up and dry. And I kind of wish I would have sanded him first before I started on him. Kind of forgot, but it doesn't matter. I just lightly sanded him and got him pretty good. Just wipe off the excess dust. And now with my red nose, I could have left it like that, but I decided to put like a little red line, or excuse me, a white line. And I didn't have the right kind of thin line paintbrush. So I did the best I could with just a regular small little paintbrush. Ended up getting a little, not crooked, but just not real smooth edges like I wanted. And so after it's dry, I kind of go back over with another paintbrush and some red paint and just kind of fix that line. And at the time I was doing this, I didn't realize that the reindeer ear was blocking your view, so I really apologize about that. And then I'm putting 2 little white dots at the end of the line with my stylus. So now you can see his little nose with the white little, I guess, kind of little shiny glare lines. And glue that in the middle, closer to the bottom. And he's starting to come to life. Now I need to do the eyes. And I got a big pack of these little foam daubers on Amazon. And I'll put the link below this video because they're great. They have at least 4 different sizes. And so I dabbed them in white paint and put them on. And then I will dry that. After those are good and dry, then I'll use the smaller dauber and do the same thing with black for the middle part of his eye and also his mouth. And I thought that worked out great for his little eyes. And when that's dry, I'll touch him up just a little bit where it needed it. And then as you can see, I've got the little mouth on there too. Now I'm using my stylus again and putting a couple white dots in his eyes. And I'm loving how he's looking so far. So now we need to work on his bow that I'll put between his antlers and ears. And he takes up a lot of space on my desk there, so I had to end up setting him aside a little bit. But first I wanted to put a big chunk of Excelsior where the bow will go. I wanted all this behind and coming down a little bit. You know, sometimes they have a little bit of hair coming down on the forehead, kind of like bangs or something. So I have this mostly going up, but then I will put a little bit more coming down on his forehead too. I just kind of pull out a glob and kind of, some are long, so I just keep bending them, and then I'm putting a little bit more that's going downwards. Now I'm going to work on the bow, so I start out by putting a piece of twine down the middle there on my mini bow dabra. And I have this wired red and tan gingham ribbon. It's probably about at least an inch wide, I think. And so I go back and forth, and I did that twice, having 2 loops and 1 tail on each side. And I just using some regular twine and going back and forth a few times. Then I have some black and cream colored ticking fabric that I tore off into strips. So I'm just putting 1 loop on each side with that. And you kind of have to twist it a little bit to keep the colored side on the top. So now I just bring up those ends, tie it in a knot, pull it out. And then I'm going to tie it in a good knot here, and then I'll tie it in a bow and leave it on there. Now I just need to fluff, and I'll trim those tails and put all the loops where I want them to go. And I thought this bow turned out really cute. I'm situating it and looking at it first before I adhere it on. I'm putting a big glob of glue and holding that, and it's really, I really have to hold it for a moment because a lot of that glue was just on the Excelsior, not as much on the wood, so I wanted it to kind of seep down to the wood and be held on there tightly. After that sets, I'm just kind of trimming tails and the twine. And you can see I've got some Excelsior coming out. So last thing I'm doing is putting a little jingle bell right in the middle of the bow. I got these on Amazon as well. They come with 2 different sizes of jingle bells, some rusty safety pins, and some rusty stars. And I thought that looked really cute. And then I'm just using my micron pen to draw little lines above his eyes for some eyebrows. And I'm really happy with how he turned out. I thought he looked so cute. Super happy with him. And I hope you like him a lot. I hope this inspires you to do something similar. Please like and subscribe to my channel. And thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. You have a whimsical day.